Alright guys, so we're ready for phase 2 here. Got my Harbor Freight special buffing wheel here. I got the 3 different for polishing, compound, and finishing, and then got my little sauce bottle for my compound. We're gonna sauce up and we're gonna start cutting and buffing one panel at a time and just see how it comes out, you know, see how much better we can make this truck look. Also, having it shinier I think will just improve the overall feeling I have towards it at the moment. And you know, I'll keep you guys posted from there. We'll do a little bit and then I'll film, and then we'll do a little bit and then I'll film, and we'll go from there. Alright gang, I've been working at it for a little while here, and I think what I've determined is I could buff all this crud out of here, but it would take a lifetime. I think I need to actually go to wet sanding first just to get this crud off. It's so bad, it's so thick. I mean, I sat here for like a full 5 minutes just in that one spot. Look, it barely did anything. So, and it's hard to see in here with the fluorescent lights and junk, and it's getting ready to rain outside, how typical of Florida, so I can't really do it outside in the sunlight. But they're gonna try wet sanding and go from there. Let's see what happens. Alright guys, so I spent basically like a half hour wet sanding. What is this? I think it's like 1500. Let me check here. I think it's 1000 grit. Okay, so it's not even 1500. It's 1000 grit. It's even more coarse. Wet sanding, trying to get all this crud out of here, and then I just ran the cutting wheel over it again with the compound. As you can see, it's barely making a dent, man. I really need to sand this thing. I might need to go to like 800 grit, then down to 1000 grit, then to 1500, then cut and buff it, because it's just, you can see it wants to come back. It's there, man. It wants to do it. It's just, there's so much oxidation that, like, I don't know, man. It's going to take some heavy duty stuff. I mean, look at the difference just from there to there. I mean, seriously. So, a lot of work ahead. It's going to be like a week of just, you know, wet sanding, cutting and buffing this truck just to make it look decent. So, there's where we're at. Alright, so what happened was, after going through all this crap with this section here that I did, you can see there's a lot of scratch marks from the sandpaper, and you can see there's a lot of discrepancies where I went through the paint of the primer, where there was high and low spots and junk. Didn't come out very good. So then I ran to the store and got a scrub sponge and some Comet and tried the old school David Freiberger Comet wash technique. And now I'm going to try buffing over this with the compound and see what happens. So let's find out. Alright, so still a lot of elbow grease, but overall, once again, man, David Freiberger coming through with the advice. I'm going to go with the old school Comet wash, man. I'm going to say it was the same amount of work. Yeah, I might show a little bluer over here where I did the wet sanding, but I also didn't go through multiple layers of paint over here. It was more gentle. The scratches are very, very fine. I think they're going to buff out better. So this is just Comet washed. I haven't compounded it or anything. Just Comet washed. So I think it's not bad. I think it's a good technique. I think it took a lot of the crud off and was gentler on the paint, removing less layers that I didn't want to remove. So I think overall it's going to be a good start to just getting the truck looking blue again. Is going to be just Comet washing the entire truck, then pressure wash it again, then compound it, polish it, and buff it. You know, and then, you know, once I do a section with all that and then see what the results are, then we'll see where it was underneath this strip where the color was truer. Then go from there and see, you know, if I want to wrap the truck or if it's worth continuing on or whatnot. But I think the Comet wash, man, initially, it's getting the job done, so I think that's where it's at. So just another little progress video here. All right, I'm gonna keep going. So I moved the truck outside because even though it keeps threatening the storm, it hasn't yet. And it's just easier for me to use a hose to keep rinsing this thing off so I can see progress. But check out the Harvey Two-Face action going on. Dude, the Comet wash is life-altering. Look at that. It's like a different truck. Now, albeit when it dries, as you can see on the door here, it's a chalky white color until I you know, compound it and buff it and stuff, and then it'll look like it does wet all the time. Wow, man, what a difference. What a difference. Without having to, kill myself too bad. I mean, I'm just taking my time, going panel by panel. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of refining where I'm going to go over areas a couple more times, little nooks and crannies here just to, keep going over it. But, man, world's different. If nothing else, I could still wrap this truck because it is just a giant square truck. And I have a blue that is damn close to what this truck originally was. A little bit darker than even what I'm getting here. It's a metallic gloss from 3M. But at least the jams and everything match. And at least now doing this comment watch, I've gotten all the dirt and grit and debris off the panels to where the vinyl's going to stick really well. When I polish it and get it super smooth, the vinyl's going to stick real good for the wrap, if I decide to do that. If I don't like the way it comes out, I'm still like with the muscle truck clone deal. I've got the bed all painted up to match the muscle truck. I just primer over it and, whatever, give it that look. I just want to buff this out real quick, get it as good as I can get it. Step back, take a look, try some hammer and dolly work on this bed, see how it turns out. And then, make decisions from there. Gotta lower this thing and get some wheels and tires on it. God, as soon as I get done with just scrubbing it down and all that, then I'm gonna do the suspension. And then once I got it lowered in the position where I want it and everything's all good, then I'm gonna take the wheels off, and measure for back spacing and stuff to make sure I order the right wheels and tire combo. I mean, I know the tire combo and the wheel combo that's on the muscle truck, but they come in negative offset, zero offset, and positive offset. I want to make sure I get the right stuff so that they fit optimal, because the real muscle truck's got spacers and stuff on it because it's got wheel lug conversions and stuff on it. So I need to figure out what's going to be best on this truck. Also, I still need to research the whole deal on the truck 12 bolt that's in this. I was told it was a 10 bolt. Apparently, the guy who sold me the truck doesn't know how to fucking count. It's not really complicated stuff, addition, just count how many bolts are around the perimeter. He said it was a 10. It is a 12 bolt, but the truck 12 bolts are different from a car 12 bolt. I don't think they're nearly as good. They're smaller. I think they're still like 8.5 inch, if I'm not positive. But whatever, we'll figure all that out. I got time to figure all that out. All in all, it's coming together pretty good. It'll look kind of matte. I could bear driving it around like this for a little while. So if I just get it lowered with some wheels on it, it'll look 1,000 times better. It'll look presentable enough for me to not be embarrassed driving it around. This truck needed a lot of love, man. It was so neglected. I mean, it was just a ranch truck, I guess, man. That's the only thing I can figure. But we're going to clean it up. All right, back at it. All right, guys. So based on my experience with the paint, the hood was really shitty, so I started priming it. I'm gonna do a bunch of layers on it and then sand it so it looks consistent and smooth. And then, we're gonna go full on muscle truck clone. That is my decision. That's where we're going, and that's what we're doing. That's it.